The UN Security Council is expected to vote on a resolution that would impose even tougher sanctions on North Korea following its latest nuclear tests. The resolution was drafted by the US. Pyongyang has already reacted to the move.
In case the US eventually does rig up the illegal and unlawful resolution on harsher sanctions, the DPRK shall make absolutely sure that the US pays due price.
RT's Caleb Maupin looks at what it would take for Washington to fulfill its economic threats.
A lot of loud and angry noises are coming from Washington, directed against their longtime foes in Pyongyang. U.S. leaders are now even discussing an oil embargo, economically punishing those who do business with North Korea.
The United States will look at every country that does business with North Korea as a country that is giving aid to their reckless and dangerous nuclear intentions.
And it's not just bombast. The Trump administration is actively planning to block all trade with DPRK.
I have an executive order prepared. It's ready to go to the president. It will authorize me to stop doing trade and put sanctions on anybody that does trade with North Korea. The president will consider that at the appropriate time, once he gives the UN time to act.
So what country does Trump have in mind? Well, it's no secret that 90% of North Korea's trade is with China. So is the USA ready to target Beijing? That's a little bit easier said than done. At this point, there's huge business interests that are at play and over $1 trillion in U.S. debt that's held by China. The USA is currently pressuring Russia and China to vote with them at the United Nations in order to put sanctions on North Korea.
We believe that the policy of maximising pressure on North Korea, including through sanctions, has been exhausted. We have said that repeatedly. We stress that the Russian-Chinese joint initiative, namely the roadmap for a Korean settlement, is open to new proposals and additions. So far, no alternative has been presented.
Now, there are many other issues that are also at play here. According to the government of South Korea, over 80 different countries currently do business with the North. And it's not just longtime foes of the U.S. on the global stage, but longtime U.S. allies, countries like Singapore, the Philippines, and even NATO countries, Germany and France. So, would the punishment apply equally to everyone? Is the USA ready to put sanctions on 80 different countries? Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.
Following Washington's tough rhetoric over the past several months, Pyongyang last week claimed it had successfully tested a hydrogen bomb. In response, the US ramped up its military presence in the region. Investigative journalist Andrei Vilcek says it's unlikely that Washington will be able to force all countries that do business with North Korea to stop.
It will be very difficult to force the whole world to keep the sanctions or the level of sanctions that are being recently proposed, particularly when it comes to China. I think that China will be doing quite a lot to show that it's neutral in this case, but North Korea is a very close ally of China. Historically, actually, China helped North Korea to survive against the Western invasion during the so-called Korean War. This is a direct provocation against North Korea, and it is also a message that is sent to the entire world. We will do this to you if you disobey. We will do this to you if you really fall out of line.